Uh, lovely. Just a lovely, wonderful, and lovely day.
Absolutely.
Talk about a whole hell of a lot of Drag Race because we're talking about a lot of Drag Race today. But hello. Welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I'm actually drinking a lot of things at the moment. And I just looked over and I was like, oh, I have my. You know how? Have you seen that trend of like, specifically neurodivergent people have 3 drinks with them at all times? One to if you've seen the trend, then you know. And I literally have that right now, actually looking at it. But it's the joke is that it's 1 to hydrate, 1 to caffeinate, and 1 for just for fun. So I've got my water because hydration is incredibly important. I've got a little bit of my Monster Ultra Peachy Keen to caffeinate me. And just for fun, I have some Coke Zero from Raising Cane's. Not sponsored. But that'd be a fun sponsorship.
Sure. I've never had Raising Cane's before, so
Oh, it's fabulous.
that's great. We'll take that sponsorship, and then I'll get some. But hello, hi, y'all. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because I love to get some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I don't have a lot of drinks. I only have water because hydration is important, and there we go. But if I was drinking anything else, I would be drinking it out of my cup mug. Ooh, and I full of cup mug. And I full of cup mug. Coming at you live. But you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. We do ship directly to you if you live in North America and domestically here in the United States, for sure. Internationally, we're working on it. So we'll let you know. But if you are here domestically in the United States, which we're talking about Drag Race US, there are no excuses. Get your cup merch. Internationally, there are some excuses. So, yeah, there we go. Period.
Well, we are here. We are talking all things RuPaul's Drag Race, season 16. It is episode 11. We are almost done with this season.
Mm-hmm.
We only got 5 more ish, I think. It's usually 16 episodes, so I think it's 16. But we are here. We're talking about this wild challenge. A very wild challenge, weird challenge. We're going to talk all about it because I certainly have thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Lana does too.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, usually.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, we're going to dive into that. Before we do that, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And a lot of drag franchises closing out at the moment. 1 more starting next week. Very excited about that. But yes, we've got 2 other channels as well with almost all things reality TV and almost all things Eurovision Song Contest and more fun, fabulous things to come. So go subscribe over there. Show us some support. We do appreciate it. And if you want to become a member of our channel and join the tea room, make sure to hit the join button here on this video or any of our videos here on the main channel. Or you could head over to Patreon, same content, different platform. That link is down in the description below. And if you would like to support us further in a monetary fashion, the Super Thanks button is available on this and all of our videos here on the main channel. And all that money goes right back into helping us make a better podcast for you. So we greatly appreciate it. So, with all that being said, we come back into the workroom and no one went home. No one went home. Sapphira got her second win. Had to lip sync to a horrible, horrible song. And Morphine is a little pressed. She's in her Delulu, thinking that, She should have been the outright winner of the challenge, which, hey, she did do very well. But Sapphira ate. So that's that. And not only was Miss Morphine in her Delulu, Lana, but you know who else was in her Delulu?
Miss Plain Jane, I think.
Miss Planjon.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time we've seen her crack a little.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girls are talking about, I think it was Dawn. It was like, Plain, how are you feeling about being, you know, in the bottom? And she's like, but I wasn't in the bottom. I was safe. And I love Dawn's confessional where she's like, we all knew that Plain was in the bottom. She was the last person called before the top 3. She's in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that the fandom, I think it was literally the Drag Race wiki, changed Q and Plain's placements to low for last week. It was like, y'all better, thank you for ruining Planjon's track record. Thank you, bye. But yeah, she is going off. She's decided that her next target in her, you know, targeting the low-hanging fruit, which is what she does on this season, is going to be Dawn. But I don't think she can come for Dawn like that, because Dawn's just going to give it right back to her. And Plain is like going off about like how her looks aren't that good and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Dawn has served fashion this season. Like, it's been good looks. Dawn is not the low-hanging fruit that you think she is, because she is performing very consistently well.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very much so like we were just talking about this with Hanaconda on UK versus the World. Go check out that episode. Ding. But we were just talking about this with Hannah, where Hannah has been doing very consistently well on this season of UK versus the World, but nothing has been like groundbreaking. She has a win, but she hasn't been like, she hasn't broken out of, you know what I mean? And I feel very similarly about Dawn. I think Dawn is performing very strongly, and she's been very consistent, and she's been in the top several times. She's presented a very strong package throughout the season. She just doesn't have those wins in the way that, you know, the clear top 4 does. Because there are only 4 people with wins. And guess what? They're probably going to be the top 4. So, but I love Dawn. I love Anaconda, but I love Dawn. And I love that Dawn is fully capable of dishing it right back to Plain.
Absolutely.
As hard as Plain is dishing to her. So I was very thrilled to see that happening. So yes, the girls come in the next day. We're still talking about Sapphira getting her second win. People are still pressed, whatever. RuPaul walks in, and we're doing a cute little mini challenge that means absolutely nothing. Spill the tea, aka majority rules.
Right.
So if you you have to answer the question and what you think the majority is going to answer. If you get it right, you get 100. We found out real dollars. All the girls got to keep the money that they won. So it's like,
right. Word. Thanks.
I think. Well, no, Plasma had won 2 challenges. Tsunami, I think, is the last girl to go home with no money.
Oh, no.
Or no, she won $5,000 because she couldn't do her Spain trip.
Oh.
So who was the last girl on this season that didn't get money? I'm curious. I'm going to look this up.
Mirage?
I don't know. I feel like there's someone before Mirage. Oh, no, it's Amanda.
What's Amanda?
It's Amanda.
Oh.
Because Geneva and Megami both had their quarter of that $5,000 from the girl crew.
Yep.
And then Tsunami had won a mini challenge, and she won her Spain trip. And then Plasma won 2 challenges.
Right.
So yeah, literally the only people that left this season with no money were Amanda, Mirage, and Hershey. Well, and even then, Hershey won the damn trip.
Right.
So Give money to Amanda and Mirage. Go tip them right now. If you're watching this video, go tip them on whatever tipping platforms they use. Go do that. But yeah, this mini challenge was dumb and stupid and basically just calling out how lovely and fantastic and wonderful Sapphira is and how absolutely rotted Plain is. Because Sapphira kept getting like, most likely to tip you big bucks at a show, most likely to help you out, most flirty, and Plain is getting like most likely to be delusional, most like it's all of like the rotted, gutted ones was what Plain was getting. And I love that. I think every time it was like a really bad one that Plain won, she kept picking Dawn. And I'm like, we see what you're doing now, Diva. Like, we've been clocking you since like episode 3. So just like, let it go. Like Elsa, just let it go. Be Elsa. Yeah, be Elsa in this moment and let it go. Thank you. But the winner with the most earnings and the most correct answers was Miss Sapphira Cristal. So she won, I think it was like $3,400.
Oh, word.
You want to know how much money Sapphira has won from this show so far?
Sure.
$22,900.
Work, mama.
And that's before taxes.
I love that for her.
Plasma went home with $10,000 before taxes.
I love that for her.
I do too. Is that how she? Did she use that money to produce her music video for Bloody Mary? I hope so.
Maybe. But it's a good video.
Very good video. So we find out that for this week's Maxi Challenge, we are doing drag awareness employee seminars. Now, the fuck does that mean? I was just like, what?
I mean, if you're in the corporate world,
yes,
you know what these seminars are. You've seen them.
I've done and presented.
You've done them. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what these seminars are. If you work anywhere and had to do some meetings about some things, heck, I worked at a restaurant and we had these kind of come together. We need to have a meeting. Everybody must come, and it's one of those seminars. So yeah, we know what it's about. We know these meetings. And if you don't, keep living and keep working, you'll know these meetings. Come to Jesus meetings, as I like to call them.
Oh, God, not Jesus. Because I've been in those too. And so we're just randomly assigning teams. There's no picking teams. There's no nothing like that. So we have Plain and Q doing. Do you know your drag herstory? Do you? I know a little bit.
No, I don't.
We have Dawn and Mhi'ya doing drag in the workplace. And we have the trio of Morphine, Nymphia, and Sapphira doing, are you a drag queen? You might be surprised. Now, which one would you have wanted to do, Lana?
I probably want to do drag in the workplace, because how do you handle?
I would too.
How do you handle being drag in the workplace? Or from the other perspective, how do you handle being the person who's working with someone who's doing drag in the workplace? Right. You know what I mean? So I kind of probably would have picked that.
I think I would have too. I would have liked to do the herstory one too. Just because I do consider myself a novice drag scholar. I've done a lot of, I've watched a lot of Drag Race. I've done several papers for queer studies classes that I've taken in the past on like drag herstory. So like that would have been a fun one to do and just like take all the stuff that I know and like spin it in a very comedic way. Like we'll talk about Plain and Q did. But yeah, I think drag in the workplace would have been really fun. Are you a drag queen? I think that one also could have been very fun
too.
Because I did really like the way that we'll talk about it. I like the way that they went about what they did. And we get them all working together. This episode is not a lot of fluff. It's not a lot of
like to the point,
because we need it all the time for the seminars, of course.
Absolutely.
So Plane and Q working together beautifully. We've seen them bonding over the season. This is, I think, this is the second time they've worked together because they worked together on the Rusical.
Okay.
So they're familiar enough with each other. They know exactly what they're doing immediately. Boom, done. The trio is working pretty well together. The only big thing is when Michelle comes in with fabulous guest judge Joel Kim Booster, who I love. When they came into the workroom and talked about everything, Michelle's note was, well, make sure Sapphira doesn't outshine y'all. And one of them listened. And one of them didn't. Or maybe she listened and it just didn't translate.
It just didn't come right. Who knows?
And then with Dawn and Mhi'ya, this is just a weird pairing. It's just a strange little duo that we got going on. Yeah, just weird.
Yeah, it felt like a setup to me. It felt very like a setup. You put the two queens who, not that Dawn is bad, not, and it's not bad. It's too quiet as queens.
Yeah,
you put them together and tell them to go out there and come up with some funny stuff to say and produce this whole seminar. And you put the two of them who are the most soft-spoken people, the ones who are a little more reserved, and you put them together.
Not it felt the biggest personalities.
Right. It felt like you were setting them up for one of them to go. And we knew who they wanted to go. But I felt when I saw, I was like, this feels like a setup. And I still hold to that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's your TV show. Produce it how you want to produce it. But it just felt very like, we're trying to set them up.
They really just wanted to send Mhi'ya home.
Absolutely.
Like they just wanted Mhi'ya gone. And it was very, very evident. And hey, we'll talk about it because they got their wish. But yeah, so Michelle and Joel come through. It's pretty lovely and nice. I think Joel is giving a lot of really good advice because it is supposed to be a comedic challenge. That's the goal of this. And so bringing someone in with extensive comedic experience, great. Love it. And then we go to the next day in the workroom. And everybody's getting ready. And we have this very emotional conversation talking about their runways for the week. And Q is talking about the importance of her garment and opens up to Plane about being HIV positive. And she's been HIV positive for 2 years now. Oh, and it hit me. And I didn't know whether I was going to talk about this today or not. Lana already knows where I'm going with this. It hit me particularly this time, and it's hit me every time there's been an HIV conversation on a Drag Race show. Anytime there is, I've always been, very empathetic and I feel for those people. And it was a bit of a different experience this time watching it because I was diagnosed with HIV 3 months ago. We're not going to get emotional today. We're going to be getting through this conversation perfectly fine. But hearing Q talk about it is just, I'm thankful that there's another person talking very, very openly about HIV and being HIV positive and the stigma behind it, because I've only been diagnosed for 3 months now, and the stigma has hit me very hard. And I do, in a lot of ways, feel... I literally had an incident the other day talking to a friend of mine who I considered a very good friend, and I was talking to him about it, and he, was very, very uneducated about the whole situation, and I got very emotional about it because there is such a strong stigma against people with HIV still in the US, around the world, and at the end of the day, I didn't ask for this. I'll just be honest. I didn't ask for this, but it's something I have to live with now, and it's something I got to deal with. And if I had never said anything to anyone, no one would know otherwise. So why are we treating these people so differently? Like, why do people feel like, oh, you're such an other because of this? Like, I didn't go out and ask for this, but it's the scenario in the life that I'm in now, and that's just what I gotta do. So I appreciate Q being so open and vulnerable on international television talking about this, and I'm with you, Q. I love you. So
yeah, I feel like everybody, it's just it's very difficult when you know, like, I know several people who have been diagnosed with HIV, and like you said, the feeling of being othered is never a good feeling. It's never a good feeling, regardless of what the other is, regardless of your, your sexual orientation, your gender, your race, your class, all of that. It's crazy because it's like you said, you didn't ask for it. And to be othered for something that you didn't ask for, and it just happened to be who you are, and just happened upon you. It's kind of crazy that people take that route. But we also know throughout history, people have been othered their entire lives.
Oh, yeah.
For things that they have no control over. Yep. But we all get through it. Oh, yeah. And we all overcome it. And there will always be some ignorance, but on the flip side of that, there will always be some support. Yeah. And so just like Q, hopefully people in Q's life have support for her and her journey throughout this whole thing. Just know that you have support throughout this journey, and from people who care immensely about you. So it's important that it's talked about. I love that it's getting talked about. I love that people feel seen and heard through Q in this moment. And we will continue to fight this fight with the people we love and the people we care about while they go through this journey.
Absolutely.
That's the importance of having support. And you have that, and Q has that. Yep. And yeah, that's it. Not going to get emotional on this podcast.
No, we're not doing that today.
We're not.
Very close.
I'm on the precipice, but we move.
We do. I'm playing the music before we do it, before anything else happens.
Please.
Because we got to talk about this RuPaul dress.
This dress, RuPaul. RuPaul.
I saw so many people on Twitter be like, if this is not a future Drag Race promo outfit, I don't know what is.
It's so good.
It's Licqour-Jete.
I was like, this might be my favorite RuPaul look.
Of the season, for sure.
Of the season. Of any season she's been on. I'm loving this dress. When she walked out, I was like, oh. Number one, the color. Fan-freaking-tastic. The color is fantastic. And then the shape of this dress. Oh, this is gorgeous. The hair is right. The makeup is right. Everything about this look is right. Everything about this look is right. I love this.
Absolutely. And the color, it's the color for me. It's the color for me. Because this gorgeous jade green looks so good on her.
So good. It almost looks aquamarine-ish, bluish, greenish. Like, it's so good. It could be so many colors.
I'm convinced that it's jade. And would you like to know why I believe it is jade?
Jade, so?
Well, RuPaul did call Michelle Visage Power Top Michelle Visage. And she's wearing jade.
I'm just saying we
Conspiracy theory, Miss Jade So for All Stars 10. I'm calling it right now.
Work.
I would love to see it. World of Wonder, Viacom, Paramount, please put Miss Jade So on an American season of this show. Thank you very much. I would greatly appreciate that. That would be very lovely. And I would love that very much.
Very much. And I will just say, this entire panel looks great.
Oh, 2 RuPaul hosted franchises in a row. The panel looks incredible. This suit on Ross, I want this.
Yes!
I want this suit.
I love that.
Joel. Oh.
He's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. I was like, wow, you're fine.
That is one of the few men in this world that if he started an OnlyFans, I would be the first person subscribed.
He is fine.
Just take all of my money, please. He is so hot. And funny. Ugh. And we gotta talk about Michelle. Because this is everything to me.
I think Michelle is getting ready for her hosting era.
I think so. She is too.
We're getting more and more of what we're going to get from Michelle and her. And I do hope we get this kind of Michelle. Like, I don't want Michelle to go into Down Under trying to be Ru. I want Michelle to go and be Michelle. Give us more pantsuits on the runway.
Absolutely.
Give us more jumpsuits. Give us more those short cutout dresses. You know what I'm saying?
If she does a RuPaul gown every once in a while, I'm not mad.
No.
The one time she fully hosted for Ru on Drag Race UK, she wasn't a pantsuit. So I think we're gonna get a different level of extravagance, like very different from what Ru does. And I agree with you. I don't want her to do what Ru does. I want her to do what Michelle does. And I know she will. She's got a very strong sense of self. She's got a very strong team of stylists and designers around her. I'm interested to see if Zaldi is going to work with her worked with her for Down Under. Because Zaldi has been the one that's made all of RuPaul's gowns for years now. I believe he exclusively works with RuPaul now.
Okay.
So I'm curious whether Zaldi will be working on any Michelle extravaganzas. But hey, the whole panel looks good. I think this is definitely my favorite Ru look of the season for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our employee seminars. So as we talked about, we have Plain and Q doing the Do You Know Your Drag Herstory, Dawn and Mhi'ya with Drag in the Workplace, and Morphine, Nymphia, and Sapphira with Are You a Drag Queen? You might be surprised.
Yeah, let's start with Dawn and Q because they started us off.
Plain and Q.
When I say Dawn, I'm looking at Dawn's picture.
I'm looking at how fucking crazy Dawn looked in this challenge, but I loved it. But I loved it. We'll get there.
Plain and Q.
Yes.
Plain and Q were hilarious. I thought they had a great chemistry. I thought they were very polished. They knew exactly where they wanted to go with this. They got me at the first slide. Like, let's look at our slides and all of our. And then when they had a thing full of slides, playground slides,
yes,
I lost it.
So it's incredibly funny. I do want to say that while it was incredibly funny and I did chuckle, that is a reused joke from another Drag Race queen.
Okay.
Because icon, legend, and diva Katya did it first. Okay. As far as we know within like the Drag Race sphere. So I absolutely agree with you. It was, and then the clips.
And then the clips, the historic clips, and they had all these paper clips.
So funny and adapted for a Drag Race audience. I think it worked so perfectly. Yeah. But I did also want to acknowledge there were other people that did it first. But it was very funny.
For someone who does not know history, it was hilarious. I cackled, I screamed, And I was like, okay, they were funny. I think I liked their presentation. They were very on it with the slides and talking about the history and giving us fun facts of fun stuff that never happened but could have happened. It was great. I thought they had a really good presentation. It was to the point. Some of it a little lacking for me was the part in the middle where it was like doctor, doctor, doctor. I'm kind of like, okay, I don't like that part. But I feel like everybody had their misses. That was their miss for me. But it was still a good presentation. I enjoyed it. I followed along. It was easy to follow along with what you want in a seminar. And I thought they were funny. I thought they were funny. I thought they were cute. I thought it was polished. I thought it went well.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I honestly think this should have been judged in teams, and I feel like maybe Plain and Q should have gotten a double win for this.
I mean, I don't. If it was judged in teams, I would agree with you. But like, I feel like why are we starting to judge in teams now? When
I agree with you. For me, this was the most cohesive beyond even the judging in teams part. Because one of the two of them could have gotten the win, and I would have said, "Cool, great, love it, wonderful." I'm not mad with who won either. Let me make that very, very clear. We'll talk about her very shortly. But I thought this was the most cohesive of the seminars. This made the most sense. It was, like you said, the easiest to follow along with. They had a bit. I liked the doctor bit. It got a little repetitive towards the end. I agree with that for sure. But it was easy to follow along. It was very funny. When they started doing like the Babraham stinkin' and like all of that, I thought that was very funny. I don't think that, dragged on too long. I thought it flowed in a very nice way. It was such a strong start that I was like, I don't know how anyone is going to compete with this. Genuinely. I'm like, I don't know how. And I'm going to be honest. I think both of them deserved a spot in the top this week. Because I really do think together and separately, and including their runways, quite honestly, I think both of them knocked this challenge out of the park. There is another person that I think is also very, very worthy of a win. It was very close for me overall. That other person is, spoiler, Sapphira. I thought any of the three of them could have won, and I would have said great. And that's kind of where I left this challenge. Because for me, there were 3 people that did very, very well. 1 person that did good. Or 2 people that did good, and 2 people that didn't do great. And that's where I left the challenge personally. But I thought Plain and Q did a fantastic job.
I did too.
So,
up next, we have Dawn and Mhi'ya.
I want Dawn's entire ensemble from this. Most especially, I need those pants. Her pants in this were so good. And I actually really liked this pantsuit from Mhi'ya.
Yeah. Oh, Mhi'ya looked good.
Mhi'ya looked good. This silver and white with this kind of like bumped mullet wig. I wasn't mad at it. I was mad at the performance. But I wasn't mad at the look.
No, the look, she looked fine. They look great. Both of them, I was like, I like the way they looked. I love this wig on Dawn. It's just so funny and quirky and weird. But the performance, Dawn did the best she could. Dawn did all right. She was trying, and Mhi'ya just lost it.
She was I actually think Dawn did a pretty solid job here, and I think if she was paired with
anybody else,
she probably could have had a spot in the top, because I think she was doing all she could to volley back to Mhi'ya and give Mhi'ya all of these like things to make funny. She was playing the straight man character in this and was doing a very, very good job at being that straight man.
Yeah. It was just was not it for Mhi'ya, and she knew it. It just wasn't. It didn't work out for her. It wasn't good, and there was no grandeurs of delusion happening in her head. She was not like, "Oh, I did great." No, she knew it. She was just like, I just lost it. I lost all of it. And it was what it was in that moment. And yeah, it was just not good. It's just not good.
She had a couple of glimmering moments where I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, she started really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dropping the cards, which I've seen some people talk about online. I thought it was intentional, but in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she started really strong. She was like, oh, sorry, girl, I just came from the after party. Hey, and like switched her
Mm-hmm.
energy. And I thought that was a really, really good thing. I kind of wish she had kept her high energy character throughout the whole thing. And I think she would have done a better job at that had she, not stumbled a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Um,
think once she stumbled, she just lost it. She
she
couldn't
just lost
recover.
it, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I like Mhi'ya.
I love
It just
Maya.
wasn't her.
This wasn't it.
Now let's talk about this trio.
Mm-hmm. So they came out and Sapphira said, let's start with a toast. And right then I was like, oh, she about to eat this thing up.
She about to do everything in her power to win this challenge. And you know
She about
what?
to eat
She
this
did,
thing.
even though she did stumble.
But see, even in her stuff, that is the crazy part about, and that is the magic that is Miss Sapphira Cristal. Because even in her stumble, she was still the one person you were looking at. She was
Yep.
still the person who captivated the audience. She was still the person who just took up the space in the room. And it was like, and even her stumble was like, mm. But anyway, she recovered it so quickly that it was almost like, did she stumble? Yeah, she did, but it wasn't that bad, so I ain't gonna worry about it. It was just that craziness that she has. She has that magic of being Miss Sapphira Cristal, and
Yeah.
she just ate it up. Like she did really, really well, even with the stumble. She looked the part. She came out. She handled the crowd. She even had them on the like. You made sure at the end of this performance to give yourself a standing ovation. You made sure that they would go give you a standing ovation at the end by telling them to stand up and let's have and chant that say this with me. It was so good. And I enjoyed her performance in it. I also enjoyed Miss Nymphia Wind's performance because Nymphia changed into a whole new character
Yeah.
and she just was living in her delusional land, but it was in the funniest way possible. And it was
Yeah.
so good. It
I
was
think
so good.
it was the best way for Nymphia to get through a challenge like this. Because
Yes.
she talked in the workroom about being very, very nervous about this challenge, especially because comedy has not been, her strongest suit.
Mm-hmm,
We all saw Snatch Game.
yes, we did.
We all saw it. So
Yes, we did.
I think going with a character that was closer to something that she knows,
Mm-hmm.
I think was very, very smart to do. I've seen people criticize her as well. That is her culture. She
That's
is
her
from
culture.
Taiwan. She may have been, raised in LA or whatever. Like, she may have lived a lot of different places. But at the end of the day, she's from Taiwan.
Yes.
Hey, I'm white. Not my conversation to have, but I thought she still did a good job. All things considered.
Look here, people who want to criticize people. She's just doing what you all imitate her doing behind her back.
Mm-hmm.
She's just doing it outright. And culturally, she can't do that. It's like me saying the N-word. I can say it, but I dare Logan to say it because I will
Absolutely not.
snatch him up.
Bitch, I'd never.
I know you never. I know you never. But I'm just like, it's just be fine to know, everybody, that it does not center around you. We can make fun of our cultures and you can't. It's just what it is. And if you are offended by someone who is in that culture making fun of what they say, what y'all already talk about them in their culture, and you talk about us in our culture, and you offended because we're doing it and getting praised for it, and you can't do it, that's a privilege that you need to take up with your own folks, because that's y'all problem. That's a you problem, not a Nymphia Wind problem. And she ate this up. She ate this up. That's what I wanted from Mhi'ya. I wanted Mhi'ya to be the homegirl from around the way. Like Ru told her, talk to us like you talking to your cousin, to your auntie, your best friend at the house in the living room. If she would have presented it that way, it would have came out so much easier than her trying to, I'm going to be professional in this state of and give this I'm like, girl, I'm a drag queen at the workplace. This is what I do. I live this life 24/7. I'm this drag queen. I'm that girl. And I'm gonna be that drag queen at work. I'm gonna be that drag queen at home. I'm gonna be that drag queen when I'm at the club. I'm gonna be that drag queen everywhere. So Nymphia took a character that was close to her culture and was like, I'm going to play up all the stereotypes. I'm gonna do all the things. I'm gonna do up all the things. And I was not offended by this in the least bit. I laughed so hard because I enjoyed it because it was her doing it. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, no, no. But when you can do that when it's your own culture, sorry, you don't have the culture to do that. And so don't be offended. Don't be offended, y'all. Let it go. But I thought she did a great job. I thought she did a really good job. I was very proud of her because she was stressing. She was one of the people who was stressing the most about this challenge because of Snatch Game and how bad she did. She even brought that up, was like, oh, I'm the Jane Goodall impersonator of the extreme, I was just like.
She leaned into all of the mistakes she had made prior, and
Yep.
I really enjoy that.
Love that.
Now, Miss Morphine.
Oh, child. Let me tell you, Miss Morphine.
Drag queen flopping.
Oh, in the worst way. And I mean the worst way. But here's the thing. Like, she started out, the very first thing out of her mouth was wrong. And it was not wrong what she said. It was wrong what she did and how she said it. She literally cut Nymphia off. I was like, okay, girl, that's enough. Look, you don't do that.
No.
You don't do that.
No.
And then you go into this long tirade, which is boring, not good. And then you messing up, and then you acknowledging that you're messing up. Drag queen flopping. It's like, oh God. It was just not a good performance from Miss Morphine.
No. And this look was not it either.
What is the feather boa and the glittery?
I don't know.
Glittery jacket got to do with a seminar? What seminar are you going to? Okay, I don't even care if it's a seminar for the drag queens. What seminar are you going to?
Right.
With a feather boa and no. This wasn't it. Not her best moment either. Unfortunately.
Not at all. Not at all her best moment. So, we move. Do you love it or do you love it?
Great. I love it. So good. You did good on this one.
Thank you. Category is Flashback DragCon 1980.
I love this category.
I love this
very
too.
Excited. I could just
like,
imagine if they did DragCon in the 1980s, what it would look like.
So good.
Oh,
it would be so much fun. But we're going to dive in. First up, Planjan. I really like it, actually. It's simple. It fits the theme enough. It's not the most extravagant thing Plain has worn on the runway. But what it is really good. I love this like multicolored neon fabric with all of the black cutouts. Like that gives me a lot of visual interest. The pants are too short for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I'm like, I don't want 80s capris. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Good on that.
But like something makes me think that maybe this wasn't her garment and that she borrowed it, because there were also some like fit issues with her breastplate. And I was confusioned a little bit.
Get out of my head.
No.
Get out of there.
Never.
Stop living there. Because, baby, that is exactly what I was like. This outfit is cute, but it's just it's not fitting right for me. I don't like the fit of it. I don't like the length of the pants. I don't like the way the jacket comes out. Like it's just not fitting well. I don't know. This isn't horrible. It fits the theme, like you said. It hits the theme perfectly fine, but it's just not the. Now, is her mug mugging? Absolutely, mug is mugging. Hair, I like. Outfit, not so much.
Yeah, it's another short hair for plain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. I like the little pink streak.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, you know what? This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptable and fine.
Absolutely.
Scores.
Since this is DragCon 1980s, she gets an 80.
You know, I'll also give her an 80. Is everyone's score going to be in the 80s this week? No, I can tell you.
No, absolutely not. But that just happens to be.
Next up is Q. I love this.
This dress was beautiful. I have to say, I was a fan of this dress. I was a fan of this look. I like the print. I like the red. And when she was like this, the ribbon, the HIV ribbon, and I was like, that's beautiful. I love the pops of red gloves, the earrings, the shoes with these black dotted tights. That was so 80s. The black dotted tights. Oh my God. The shoulder pads in this dress. This was Alexis Carrington, very dynasty coded,
So dynasty.
very, I mean, this was beautiful. And y'all know I've criticized Q before, and but I can't criticize this look because it's beautiful, it's stunning. It's living up to the hype that Q has given us at the beginning of the season, and showing why her designs are really, really good. I'm going to say this, and this is even though this is like stuff that I've said off screen and things. I've criticized Q, calling some of her looks a little mediocre, and especially it was more so last week with the hat. And I was like, it was a great hat moment. It was dripping with the hat was great, but you take away the hat, the outfit itself is mediocre. And I stand by that. I do. I stand by that. I don't think the pants and the bra top was anything spectacular. But I will say, I don't think I've said on this podcast, I don't think all of Q's looks are horrible or bad looks. I really have been hyping Q up for most of her looks. I feel like sometimes y'all have been hyping her up. Some of the fandom have been hyping her up so much when her looks have been like when we don't tell the truth. When the looks aren't the best, we still want to hype it up like this is the best thing ever. She's so great. She's so great. And I'm like, let's be real. We go be honest. If her looks is great, we give her the credit and say looks are great. But when they're not, let's be fair and honest and say they weren't that great. I thought her neo-goth look was pretty, but did I think it deserved the win? No. I thought that should have went to Nymphia, hands down. I thought it was just better. But people jumped on me and was like, are you saying I'm not saying Q is mediocre. I'm just saying some of her looks weren't the best that we trying to hype it up to be. Because y'all out there hyping it up.
She set a very high standard for herself. And
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's not up to exactly that thing.
Absolutely. Her standards were very high. And I'm going to be fair about it. Even when it's not the best, I'm going to tell her the business. Like, it was cute, but it ain't the best you've done. But this look here, top tier. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to give Q her flowers. This is gorgeous. It's thought out. It's conceptual. It's personal. And I love every second of it.
Welcome to part 2 of me trying to get through a discussion about Q in this episode without crying. This look means so much to me in several different ways. Obviously, the HIV ribbon representation, and I think it's so gorgeous in this. First and foremost, this is my favorite look of the episode, hands down, no question in my mind. It's probably a little bit of bias, but hey, I'm allowed to have that bias. Because I love the way that the way that she's interpreted the HIV ribbon, having it come up and be this neck piece, and then having it come down and be this train behind her. But beyond that, the actual dress itself is done in a very Haring inspired print, and Keith Haring is actually one of my favorite artists who passed from HIV. So all of it being so full circle, like this is just another example of Q being so thoughtful with her designs and with what she's presenting on the runway. I'm so happy that she got to present this. I absolutely love this look. It's stunning in every possible way, and I really appreciate her for doing this. So, scores.
Okay, props. Woke up.
Duh. Duh.
There are props there. It's beautiful.
It's been a minute since I've given a duh. I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that anymore. But yes, thank you, Q, for doing this. So good. And next up is Dawn. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dawn.
I like this look from Dawn. I do. Okay. It's very punk 80s. And I appreciate Dawn for being different, for doing something that is out of the norm, out of the box, very alternative punk in the 80s. It's a lot. It could be considered messy, but that's what it was. It was intentional. All that mess and all that stuff, it's good. I like this. This is Dawn giving us Dawn's perspective, and I always appreciate Dawn's perspective on the runway, even if I don't always get it. But I like this. I like this hair. This wig is wigging for me. I like the colors that she picked, the blues with the pinks and then the blacks. So good together. I like this. I thought it was good.
Does it scream DragCon 1980 to me? I don't know. But as someone that wasn't alive in the 80s, I am going to defer. Hey. I got you here because I'm going to defer more to Lana on this because I was not alive in the 80s. I think beyond looking at it for the category, I really like it. It's very Dawn. I love the face kini that she's got going on. The mixture of fabrics for me is what's the most interesting because you've got these like pink, probably vinyl gloves with this blue vinyl bodysuit with all the ripped up fishnet with this like black denim situation with the boot, with the hair. Like this shouldn't work, and yet it does. That feels like the best way to describe Dawn's drag in general. Like this all together shouldn't work, but somehow you're pulling it off and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Dawn is punk in like drag. Like she's the alternative to what we think of when we think of drag artists. And I love that she even took that into this DragCon. Like she is think of like if Got Mick
not to be confused with Milk, who are two different people.
Right, yeah. Got Mick,
yes.
Think of Got Mick back in the 80s. That's what it would be. Like if Got Mick was in the 80s, people would not understand her type of drag, but it will be something like this and will understand it like, oh wow, like this is I think I'm a fan. And yeah, this would be a punk alternative rocker chick if she was a drag queen in the 80s. I'm a fan.
Definitely. Scores.
I gave her a 95.
I'm gonna give her an 85 because I do like it. I'm not gonna comment on David's score because I don't like it.
I'm sure it's very low.
It's very low. Next up, Mhi'ya, Iman, LePaige. Now, Lana, did you see / listen to what Mhi'ya was saying about the inspiration for this look?
Oh, what did Patti LaBelle?
So, kind of. Well, they talked about the Patti LaBelle hair, but this is such a Drag Race deep cut.
Okay.
Because this garment is modeled after. Follow me on this story. This is modeled after this like famous AI image where someone put into AI. I think it was just Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
And the look that popped out was basically this garment. And that was Mhi'ya's inspiration for the and it makes me appreciate Mhi'ya even more. Just knowing that she took this off the wall goofball inspiration and used it, and it's actually on Drag Race now.
That's funny.
I find that so funny. Is this a good look? Not really. But I love the reference point that it comes from.
Yeah. I wish that she would have taken it and polished it up and like I agree with Michelle, cinch the waist up a little bit, give us a little bit more shapely, and made it more drag. Because right now it just looks like somebody who's trying to like a Halloween costume. Like I'm gonna be a drag queen for Halloween, but I ain't gonna do what drag queens have to do to make themselves look like drag queens. Like I'm not gonna cinch, I'm not gonna tug, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna put on this bodysuit and be like, hey, look at me and my good all hanging out, and I'm put on this fabulous wig and everything. But it's not. I wanted her to be the drag queen. I don't want her to be the character of a drag queen. Like I don't want her to be the AI of the drag queen. I wanted her to be the actual drag queen. Give me the silhouettes. Give me the look. Like I think this wig is fabulous. Wig is fabulous. I think her face is great. I just wish she would have cinched in that waist, give us the drag, the polished drag of the beam, so we can like see this is look AI. This is what it's supposed to look like, But yeah, the look isn't itself great, but I do enjoy the reference.
I don't remember whether this was on the episode itself or it was in the What You Packin' with Michelle and Mhi'ya. I think it was What You Packin', where Michelle commented on something very specific, where she noticed when Mhi'ya is not planning on being like a flipster and doing all of her flips, that's when she corsets, and that's when she has like the good body, because we have seen that from her on several occasions on this season. Both of the red. She was cinched and she's got that shape, and she's got a gorgeous shape when she does corset. But Mhi'ya talked about how it's very difficult to do all of the performance stuff that she does if she's corseted. So there are times where and she knew she was in the bottom for this, so obviously she didn't corset. So like in that regard, I do agree with you about the body. I get it. It doesn't look the best in this garment, but knowing that she knew she was going to be in the bottom and had to perform, I'm not all that mad at it. Looking at the garment itself, it is a basic bodysuit with a basic glove and a basic train, all in the same color. And like that color is gorgeous on her.
Gorgeous.
But it's not my favorite Mhi'ya, Iman, LePaige look of the season. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, no.
So it's not bad. It's just not great.
Right.
Scores.
69.
Nice. I gave her a 74. Next up, Sapphira Cristal.
Baby. If this ain't no 80s look, I don't know what is. If this ain't the 80s going out, if this ain't that Whitney Houston hair back in the 80s, I would have danced with somebody here. Like, this dress is like every first lady going to the passive anniversary with this dress on, because baby, it's the buttons, it's the off the shoulder, it's the big sparkly. Just I did enjoy this dress. I did enjoy this look. I enjoyed how she performed it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. What is there to say about Mother? I mean, now I will say, I talked last week about the banana of it all, and here I am commenting about the fact that Sapphira has worn a lot of blue garments on the show, okay? It's blue.
Oh, it looked black to me.
It's like a blue-black. It's very, very, like, close to it. I recognize that she's worn several garments that are blue.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say on the matter. And she may have worn a similar enough silhouette, but all of her garments have been very different. Whatever. I love this on her. Like you said, if I had no concept of the 80s, I would still know this was an 80s look. Like, it's that silhouette. It's that, it's the corseted body with the big flouncy skirt. She looked incredible. This is the most youthful Sapphira has looked on the runway, and that I really, really enjoyed. The whole thing, top to bottom, is just absolutely gorgeous.
It's good
every way. I love her dearly. I love her dearly. I really do. I really do. So, bless you and scores.
97.
Shut up, because I also gave her a 97. Get out of my head, Lana.
I won't, since you won't get out of mine.
That's fine.
I'm going to set up shop and relax.
Oh, Lord, baby, you don't want to do that.
Oh, no.
You do not want to do that.
I stay in the corner of your brain that
no.
Nobody messes with me.
There's a vacation spot right outside of it. That's fine. You don't want to be anywhere in here. Certainly don't. Next up, Morphine Love Dion. And did you know, Lana, she has a BBL?
I had no idea.
What?
Nobody said anything about that. I mean, we should talk about that more, I think.
I really think we should talk more about her BBL.
Yeah. This dress was not it. This dress was not it. This look was not it. I was not feeling anything about this. It was a dress with a butt out. Sure. Because we have not talked enough about the BBL that she's
BBL?
And this didn't say 80s to me. This said country. I don't know. I was very underwhelmed by this dress.
You know, I understand that Morphine was trying to brand herself as a BBL girl. I would have liked a bit more diversity. In the last couple of weeks in her looks, I really, really liked. This one, unfortunately, we're back to, and, she could only really work with what she brought to the show. I get it. It's just getting a tad repetitive at this point. I actually really like the hair. The hair on this is cute. The garment is cute, but this looks, who was it? Was it Ross? Someone was like a deflated Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm,
And that's
mm-hmm,
absolutely what I get from this. So,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, not that impressed. Go be honest.
yeah.
Look, I gave her a 69 as well because I wasn't impressed with Mhi'ya.
In the words of Kylie Minogue, get out of my way, get out of my way. Because I also gave her a 69.
Nice.
This is why we need a third person here to give an alternate opinion. It doesn't matter what the alternate opinion is, but Lana and I just have the same opinion. Oh, and last up, I know we're going to have the same opinion about Miss Nymphia Wind.
Nymphia Wind, you've done it again, girl.
Literally.
I don't even know where you come from. Where did you?
Taiwan.
No, she's not from Taiwan. She's not of this world. Who are you, girl? Because where are you? Number one, you're doing Grace Jones, the iconic Grace Jones, who was iconic in the 80s. And you're doing an homage to Grace Jones. And you're doing it in this purple and white fabric with these rings on your head and on your boobs and on your... Who are you? How do you come up with this? And then to top all of it off, you go give us this fabulous red wig that is amazingly sitting at your head on your head. And then we go down to your feet and you give us some red pop-up color shoes at the... Who are you? And you look cinched and pulled together and curvy.
Yeah. Because I knew... Now, why didn't anyone do this look when they had the Night of 1,000 Grace Joneses? I don't either. This is so good. She is so good. And I would like her to be the runner-up of this season. A, so Sapphira can win. And B, so she can come back and give us more fashion on All Stars and win. That's what I want personally. She's
All Stars with Miss Jade So.
Oh my god. Her on All Stars with Miss Jade So, Luxe Noir London.
Sure.
And Jujubee. Because we got to bring back Jujubee all the time. Give Jujubee a 5th shot at Drag Race.
Oh, can we bring Melinda?
Oh, of course we can bring Mother Melinda Verga. All Asian All Stars. Done.
Oh, Kiki. Oh, too. Bring Kiki.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to take Luxe out of that cast if we did that, unfortunately. Yeah. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Because then we can also bring who else do we want to bring? Silhouette.
All these fashion girlies.
Bring the fashion girls from Thailand that we may soon introduce Lana to. Wink, 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 wink. Fabulous. Love it. Yeah, Nymphia is perfect in every possible way. What else is there to say? Guys. Obviously. Duh. So yes, we have Untucked. I don't think a whole lot happens. I don't remember anything happening in Untucked. And if they did, I remember Joel Kim Booster came back.
Absolutely.
Oh, Q got a video message from her partner.
Oh, that's beautiful. See, I didn't see Untucked because...
Because Dawn got a video message last week. We forgot to talk about that, too. because I forgot to talk about that. But yeah, Untucked was something I think happened. I don't remember it. I'm so sorry. I don't typically remember Untucked. I like watching it though, but I don't typically remember it. But yeah, so we go to results. Oh, I remember circling back to Untucked. Everyone is pretty much like, oh, Q and Plain, one of you is gonna win. That's like the overwhelming conversation in the Untucked. Everyone's like, oh my god, Q, you did such a good job. Oh my god, Plain, you did such a good job. Sapphira, you also did a great job, but like one of these two is gonna win.
Ooh.
So when we find out that the top two is Sapphira and Nymphia, the goopery, the gaggery.
Oh, the goop. They were so goop.
I have not seen a face crack like that.
Ooh, baby.
Since Jan.
Oh.
Since Jan.
Oh, baby. Face cracked. Like, oh, yo.
This was Q backstage. And this was everyone watching Q.
Baby, she was so mad in that moment, just gagged. I was like, oh, well, okay. I guess you gagged.
And I mean, I will go ahead and say, I mean, I don't think it's unwarranted.
No, she should be gagged. I mean, but here's the thing. You can't believe your own press. You can't write your own stories and believe your own press. You just because everybody else thought or you thought you did the best and you should have won, don't mean that's how it's going to be. You aren't in the judges' minds. You aren't a judge.
You aren't in the producer's minds.
Right, in the producer's you're not there. So you don't know what is going on. And so did they do a good job? Absolutely. Did Nymphia and Sapphira do a good job? Absolutely. It was what they chose to find to be the top. And they didn't pick you. So, yeah, you might be gooped and gagged because you did a good job, which you did. And nobody could take that away from you. You did a good job. And the judges weren't even trying to take that away from you. It was just that they found them to be funnier. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Maybe when she looked like she wanted to slap RuPaul and every judge on that panel. I was like, ooh, girl, all right. But she was mad, honey. She was mad.
Because I mean, I'll be honest. If it was me, I think my top three would have been Sapphira, Plain, and Q. If I'm being honest, I think Nymphia did a very, very good job, but for me, she was number 4. But I see, like, based on performance and runway, I could have seen any of the 4 of them in the top, and quite frankly, maybe it should have been a top 4.
Maybe.
I don't know, but regardless, the winner of this week's challenge. Back-to-back wins, getting her 3rd win. It's Sapphira Cristal. Yes.
I'm wearing blue just for her.
I noticed. I was like, oh, how fitting. How fitting in this scenario. Yes. So yes, Plain and Q are called safe. Our bottom 3 is Mhi'ya, Morphine, and Dawn. They save Dawn, which is the correct choice.
Correct choice, absolutely.
And we get the lip sync that I predicted and that we kind of figured was coming at some point. It is the Miami Girls lip sync, Morphine versus Mhi'ya. And they got Donna Summer. I have been asking for another Donna Summer song. This is now our 3rd. And every Donna Summer lip sync is a phenomenal lip sync because they did the first one was MacArthur Park, which is we'll show you that lip sync at some point because it's very good. And then they did oh Lord, Scarlet Envy was in a Donna Summer lip sync. Last Dance. They did Last Dance.
Absolutely.
Oh, with Scarlet Envy and Raja O'Hara, who you also know. Ish. And now they have this one to Donna Summer, Dim All the Lights. Now I know because we talked before this lip sync, Lana, or before this episode, Lana, that we have differing opinions on this lip sync. So I'm curious, what did you think?
I wasn't that entertained by this lip sync. I found it to be quite boring, a little predictable. I felt like both Mhi'ya and Morphine were doing what we know of them to do. Like, there was nothing new. We knew Mhi'ya was going to flip, she flipped. We knew Mhi'ya was going to split, she split. We knew Mhi'ya was going to do a trick, she did. She stood on her head and dangling her legs around. It was fine. But we've seen it, 3 times now in her lip sync?
This
was her fourth lip sync. And the only time she didn't do that was doing Flowers. And she didn't have to do that because she didn't need to. But any other time, we've seen Mhi'ya do her flips, stand on the head, dangling the leg. It's fine. It was what we expected out of Mhi'ya. And any other time, it would have been great. But when they are setting you up to go home, you have to make it where they can't send you home and it's undeniable. Like, you have to save some of your tricks for moments like this. And I don't think she did. Morphine, on the other hand, I felt like her performance was just kind of like, She had that one moment where she did a halfway split for like 3 minutes of a song and she just stood there. And everybody was like, work, girl, work. I was like, we working her for standing there looking like I'm singing my song, but I'm standing here.
But she wasn't standing though, Lana. That's the thing. She was mid-split.
I mean, that's
but the amount of core strength it takes, like, that is not an easy thing to do for the amount of time that she did it.
I'm not saying it was easy. Never did it come out of my mouth that it was the easy thing for her to do. I'm just saying it went too long for me. Okay. It was like that, like, it was impressive the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. But then when it got to 2 minutes and a half, 3 minutes, 3 minutes and a half, it's like, girl, the song ain't that long. Like, it just felt longer than it had to be. And to me, it felt like a stalling tactic. Like, I don't want to do anything else, so I'm going to stand here and act like I'm in mid-spit, and I'm just going to sing this song. And I'm like, what else do you got? You got 2 minutes to do something, and you spending 45 to 50 to a minute of the 2 minutes in this halfway split. Sure, it's hard, core strength, and sure, it takes. But I don't know. I wasn't impressed. This is me, my personal opinion. Don't come for me if you think Mhi'ya's if Morphine is the greatest thing since sliced bread. That is your opinion, and you are allowed to have it. Me, I just come to realize that maybe Morphine loved Dion. Her performance style is not my cup of tea personally, which is fine. I think she's a fabulous human, and I think she's a great, she's good at what she does. But for me, I wouldn't be the one to be like, I want to go to a Morphine Love show, and because that's just not my thing. I feel like she focuses so much on the fact that she has this BBL and she's cute, and that's all that it is. And to me, I'm like, is that all you are? Is a cute person with a BBL, and you just go get naked and show us that, you got your butt done? Okay, that's good for like 2 minutes. What's after that? So that's just my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. If I was going to pay for any one of these shows, I'm paying for the Mhi'ya show, not the Morphine show. That's just me personally. That's my personal opinion.
I get that. I definitely get that. All of your points are 100% valid. I get it. I will say I was very entertained by this lip sync. And for me, was it a lot of the same things that we've seen both Morphine and Mhi'ya do? Yes, I will absolutely agree with that. What I loved more was the fighting of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because not even 30 seconds in, Mhi'ya rips off her train and throws it over Morphine.
Yeah.
While Morphine is doing a backbend.
Yeah.
And what was even more impressive to me is that mid-backbend, mid-air, Morphine is able to grab it and fling it off of her. And I'm just like, that drew me in. I stood up and screamed when Mhi'ya threw her bustle all over Morphine. Like, I was so entertained by this. And the way they just went back and forth, it felt like they were trying to outdo each other, but still both trying to give a good performance. Both of these girls also have ballroom background, and I really saw a lot of that. It felt more like a ballroom battle. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
I'm white. I'm going off of the limited experiences that I have, but it felt more like a ballroom battle than a lip sync on Drag Race. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I liked about it, was there was a level of familiarity that they had with each other, obviously, because they're from the same city. So they were able to play off of each other in such an interesting way, where like Morphine, you could see Morphine getting a little like catty in her movements, but then at the end of the day, they were still giving like a really good performance, and they came together at the end. And I thought it was a real battle. Mm-hmm. And I was thoroughly entertained the entire time. So
I can agree with that, and I can understand. Like, for me, I was nervous when Mhi'ya did that people were going to come for her for that. I'm like, oh, she's being dirty. You can't do that. But I thought I found that to be one of the entertaining parts of the lip sync, but I didn't want people to come for Mhi'ya because they felt like she was trying to play dirty and, putting the bustle over her head was a tactic and all that stuff. Because we've seen people coming for people for stepping in front of people, or
they still are coming for Mhi'ya. What else is new? But yeah. Well, it might have been her fourth time in the bottom, but a handstand and some backflips could not save our Mhi'ya Iman LePaige, and she was eliminated.
I mean, yeah. In all honesty, it was time. It was time.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry because Morphine is going to follow right behind her. Sorry.
Oh! Well, Julie.
Bold prediction, I know. But
it could happen. It could happen. But I love Mhi'ya. I'm happy she was on this show. She provided me a whole hell of a lot of entertainment.
Absolutely. She was one of my favorites. A whole
hell of a lot of entertainment. I'm excited to see her probably end up in the Vegas show, probably end up on Work the World, flipping all over the damn world. I'm excited to see it for her. And in conclusion,
I'm great.
Oh, you just gotta love it.
I'm gonna very quickly go through the draft because this is not something Lana wants to hear. But
I said it last week. I knew my time was up, and my time was up.
So Lana is now officially the first person out of the draft for season 16 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And in fact, you're currently being beat by Plain Jane.
Sure. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So Lana is in 6th place officially in the draft with 34 points. Plain Jane, who we did not draft, technically has a higher score. And then in 4th place is Eve the Bunny with 61 points. In third place is Rhea with 71 points. In second place is Brandon with 76 points. And I am currently in the lead with 89.5 points. Thank you, Plasma. Thank you, Plasma. And Sapphira.
What about the bag? The one who's still there, still winning?
Plasma has more points in the draft than both Morphine and Mhi'ya. So, unfortunately.
Whatever.
But next week, they're bringing back a challenge that I love, that I affectionately call the HGTV challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen an iteration of this twice before. The first time they had to do a club. So, like, design your own club and market it. The second one was your own hotel suite.
Okay.
And this time we're designing bathrooms.
Ooh.
So that should be interesting. We saw the pairings. So we know that it's Sapphira and Plain. I believe it's Q and Morphine.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dawn and Nymphia.
Yeah.
So we shall see what comes of that. I'm very excited. We have 6 queens left and 5 more episodes after this. So, with all that being said, thank you for joining us for yet another recap here of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16. Let us know in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you agree with the winner? Did you agree with who was eliminated? What were your favorite parts of the episode? Let us know all those things down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share on your way out. You can, if you would like to become a member of our channel and join the tea room, go ahead and hit the join button here on any of our videos, or just here on the main channel in general. Or you can head over to Patreon, same content, different platform. That link is down in the description below. While you're down in the description, you could also go subscribe to both of our other channels with almost all things reality TV and almost all things Eurovision Song Contest. More fabulous things to come. You can also go follow us on our social media at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You could go follow me and Lana, because we're lovely and wonderful. And you could also go get your merch, including but not limited to Cup Mug, currently definitely shipping within North America. And with all that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Mhi'ya.
Love you, Mhi'ya. Who's gonna flip now, Lana?
No one.
Magic Q learns how to flip.